I am a practicing attorney. I do not represent the city. My role in these proceedings is to be an independent fact finder. So the order that we will proceed for each case today is the city will present its evidence and testimony. When they are done, you'll have the opportunity to ask any questions you have from the code enforcement officer, as well as to present any evidence and testimony you would like me to receive. When I've received all the evidence and testimony, I'll enter an verbal order today. That will be followed by an order that you will receive in the mail. Any time deadlines that I put into that order will start as of the date that I sign that order, not today's date, as you will see when you receive those orders. And with that, there's been a request to move case number 2021-2560, Clifford Allen Taylor, to number 1. Is there any objection to moving that up from the city? So if you'll call that case.
Case number 2021-2560, Clifford Allen Taylor, owner, location of violation, 800 Chris Court, St. Cloud, Florida.
And Mr. Taylor has also expressed in his correspondence to the city a time deadline. With that in mind, I'll make an effort to expedite this case. If there's anything you want to make the record with after I ask Mr. Taylor a few questions, feel free to, but I think I might be able to shorten this case up for him to get him free. I'm assuming you're Mr. Taylor. You looked like a Mr. Taylor. If you want to come up to the podium. You ready? Do you swear from the testimony you give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
So you've stated that your intention today is to, your words, plead guilty. I would say stipulate that there is a violation of section 24-162A for failure to allow the grass and weeds to be overgrown. Are you stipulating to that today that you did allow that condition to exist on the property?
Yes, it's obvious I did.
Has it been cured?
Yes, yes it has.
Okay. And do you stipulate that it was cured after the date set in the notice of violation for you to go out there and cure it?
Yeah, I tried. Yes.
But it was not cured before the date set in the notice of violation. You're not contesting that you failed to abide by the notice of violation that you received.
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
So
Okay.
if you had complied with the notice of violation, the code enforcement officer gave you a date by which you had to comply. If you had complied by that date, typically the cases
That's
would not be
correct.
presented
That's
to me.
correct.
So, but you complied, but after the date that she had given you for compliance.
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct, technically.
And you also stipulate to the administrative cost that the city has requested me to award in this case in the amount of $161.66.
I'll pay it.
You stipulate that amount is due?
Yes. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, sir.
Then that's the amount.
161.66 is the record evidence I have.
Yes.
Would you like to present your evidence binder?
I provided a copy to the
Okay.
defendant.
Anything that you would like to make the record with, city attorney? Okay. Given the stipulation, and do you disagree with anything that the respondent has stated? Given the stipulation of the parties, I will enter a stipulated order in this case finding the respondent in violation of Code Section 24-162A for grass and overgrown weeds. I will find the violation was cured, but cured after the date set in the notice of violation for cure. We'll order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $161.66. Do you have any problem paying that amount in 7 days?
No.
I will order that amount be paid within 7 days from the date of my written order. So again, when I sign that order
No.
is when that clock will start ticking.
I could pay it today, but where do I pay?
You'll need to get in touch with her, and she'll give you her card. Claudia will give you her card. And just the significance of the order is if it happens again, the next time it happens, the city could present that case as a repeat violation. So it's
Yes, I
important to stay on
understand.
top of it. And with that, you're free to go.
Thank you. So, can I get that card?
I'll go get your card.
All right.
So we'll take a recess now,
Okay.
or do you want to skip one and go to two?
Depends on what they need us to do. Do you need a recess, or do you want us to skip and continue on with the cases that are ready to go? Okay, so move on to case number 2021-2393? Okay, we'll do that.
The other people have not been
I know. Yeah, I was rushing on that one.
Case number 2021-2252, William H.
No.
Garber,
Oh, no, that's right, sorry.
Jr., owner, location of violation, 1200 Wyoming Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon, Pam Neal, City of St. Cloud Code Enforcement Officer. I am presenting this case for the property located at 1200 Wyoming Avenue. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: copy of the courtesy notice sent to the owner, copy of the notice of violation sent to the owner, copy of the notice violation with the certified mail sent to the owner, copy of the notice violation with the new date sent to the owner and posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the statement of violation, notice of hearing sent by certified mail to the owner and posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, copy of the affidavits of postings, the certified card signed for, the certified mail receipt, copy of the deed to the property, copy of the code section in violation, copy of the cost incurred if the special magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $273.49. I don't believe the owner is here. On October 11th, while on routine patrol, I noticed a silver BMW parked in the side yard with no tag. 2 photos were taken. Well, had an expired tag, excuse me. On October 11th, the courtesy notice of violation was sent to the owner. On October 26th, the reinspection was performed, and the car was still there. It was backed in where I could not verify if it had a tag. On October 26th, a notice of violation was sent to the owner. On November 12th, a reinspection was performed, and the car was still backed in where I could not verify if it still had a tag. On November 12th, a notice of violation was sent by certified mail to the owner. On December 7th, a reinspection. On December 7th, I received the certified car back, not signed for, so I went to the property and the car was still backed in, and I took 1 photo. On December 8th, a notice violation with the new date was sent to the owner and posted on the property and City Hall. An affidavit posting was completed. Took 2 photos. On December 22nd, a reinspection was performed and the car was still backed in. I ran the tag from when I took the photo the first time to see if it was now current, and it was still expired. On December 22nd, a statement of violation, notice of hearing was sent by certified mail to the owner and posted on the property and City Hall. An affidavit of posting was completed. I took 2 photos. On January 12th and 18th, re-inspections were performed and the car was still backed in, not where I couldn't verify it. I took 2 photos. On January 21st, a new statement of violation notice of hearing was sent by certified mail to the owner and posted on the property and City Hall. An affidavit of posting was completed. I took 2 photos. On February 3rd, a reinspection was performed. The property was still in violation. I took 1 photo. On February 14th, a reinspection was performed, and the car was gone, and the property is now in compliance. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of allowing an abandoned vehicle at this location. The city would like to also recover the cost incurred in bringing the case before the special magistrate in the amount of $273.49 to be paid within 7 days of the written order of the magistrate as well. And that concludes my presentation.
I think you want to give me a different binder, so if you'll give me a minute to flip through that and just verify a couple of the documents. I'll just hold on to this one. If we're going, are we going to 2393 next? I'll just hold on to it for that case. And is there anybody in the public here for this case?
No, sir.
Seeing none. I will find in favor of the city, find the respondent was in violation of section 24-52A for allowing the abandoned or improperly registered vehicle to be parked on the subject property. Find the violation was cured as of February 13th, but that date was after the date set in the notice of violation served on the respondent by the code enforcement officer. Therefore, order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $273.49, which amount shall be due within 7 days of the date of my written order. Anything else from the
Thank
city?
you.
Case number 2021-2393, William Marty Jr., owner, Myra Giuliani, owner, location of violation, 1001 Carolina Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon, Pam Neal, City of St. Cloud Code Enforcement Officer. I am presenting this case for the property located at 1001 Carolina Avenue. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: copy of the courtesy notice sent to the owner, a copy of the notice violation sent to the owner to the address on property appraisers and to the property in violation, copy of the notice violation sent by certified mail to the owner to the address on property appraisers and to the property in violation, copy of the notice violation with the new date sent to the owner to the address on property appraisers and to the property in violation and posted on the property and City Hall, a copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail to the owner to both addresses and posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, copy of the affidavits of postings, the certified card signed for, the certified mail receipt, copy of the deed to the property, copy of the code sections in violation, a copy of the costs incurred if the special magistrate finds a respondent in violation in the amount of $264.82. You have the book. On October 28th, 2021, while on routine patrol, I noticed a new structure being built in the rear yard with no permit. I took one photo. On October 29th, a courtesy notice, a violation was sent to the owner at the address of the violation. On November 10th and November 24th, I checked and there was still no permit. On November 10th, a notice violation was sent to the owner, to the address on property appraisers, and to the address of the violation. On November 24th, a notice violation was sent by certified mail to the owner, to the address on property appraiser, and to the address of the violation. On December 7th, I checked and the permit was applied for. So on December 17th, I checked, but the permit was disapproved on the 16th. I took one photo. Too far ahead. On December 17th, I called the owner.
Can I stop you on that photo. What am I looking at in this photo? Is it the structure behind the fence?
Yes, that's as good as picture I could
So
get.
between your courtesy notice and 12/7, they continued work on that structure?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
On December 17th, I called the owner and explained to him what he needed to do to get the permit approved. I told him I would give him another 5 working days to correct the paperwork. On January 3rd and 14th, I checked and the permit was still disapproved. On January 4th, a notice violation with the new date was sent to the owner to both addresses and posted on the property and City Hall. An affidavit of posting was completed. I took 2 photos. On January 18th, a statement of violation and notice of hearing was sent by certified mail to the owner to both addresses and posted on the property and City Hall. An affidavit of posting was completed. I took 2 photos. On January 19th, the owner resubmitted paperwork, and on February 1st, it was disapproved again for the same thing. They need to indicate on the survey the setback from the property line to the shed. On February 7th, I checked and the permit was still disapproved. On February 15th, I checked and the permit was still disapproved with nothing new turned in by the owner. And the respondent is here today. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of allowing a shed to be constructed without first obtaining a permit, and to have the permit obtained by March 1st, 2022, or pay a fine of $100 a day until compliance is met. The city would like to also recover the costs incurred in bringing the case before the special magistrate in the amount of $264.82 to be paid within 7 days of the written order of the magistrate as well. And that concludes my presentation.
Do you know if that structure, I know you don't know the exact measurements because according to testimony, they have not been submitted, but from your, does it look to you from the right-of-way as if that structure has, if it meets the setback for an accessory structure? Do you know?
It's hard to tell with the privacy fence, but it only has to be 3 feet from the property.
Okay. Respondent? Do you have any questions for the code enforcement officer before she sits down?
What I was looking through was the paperwork. Yeah, my name is William Marte.
And
This
let me
is-
swear you in.
Okay.
If you can testify. Do you swear from the testimony you give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And this is my mother, Myra Marte. We both were co-owners of the house.
Okay.
All right, once we started building on the property, according to the first time she said she came over and inspected it, the certified letter was sent to my old mailing address. So we never received that one. Second time we received, we were told we received the second one, a signature was put on there. There was neither one of our signatures for initial or anything like that. I know have a special signature, my mother puts out her full name on that second one. And on the third one that we received, there's no signature at all on it, on the return card, on the copy that is.
Did you receive any of the notices?
One.
Which one did you
The
receive?
one with no signature on it whatsoever. The mailman just threw it all inside, just threw it in there and just left.
When you say the certified mail was not signed for, but you received it?
Correct.
Correct.
What that signature shows is that you received it. So if you received it, I don't have to ask
No, no,
you
no,
if the
no.
green
No,
card
the
was
first
signed.
two,
You did not receive, I
we did not
understand.
receive it.
That's why I
It's the
wanted to
third
nail
one that we
down
received.
which one you received.
but I was looking through her packet, and it's showing different signatures on it, and that's, I'm like, okay, that's not us, and nor did we receive them.
I just want to get to the notice that you did receive.
We received the third one.
What was it? Is it November 24th?
I think that would be the last one that the last one that was submitted. According to Ms. Neal's violations and the copies of all the certified letters, it's the very last one that has no signature on it.
Well, there's November 24th and there's January 4th. Do you remember which one you received?
It was January 4th, because that's my birthday.
Okay.
And that would be about it. Then when she came over, we were home when she put those notices in front. My mother even tried calling her to find out exactly what was needed.
Okay.
Once that happened, she talked to me. I got in contact with the person at zoning. Zoning emailed me everything that I needed to do, and I said, it's on the paperwork on my permit where I drew the property line. First, he said it was 6 feet, then it was changed to 5 feet, then it was changed to 3 feet.
What was changed from 6 to 5 to 3 feet?
What I was explained to me by the zoning, the person, I cannot remember his name, I think his name, last name is Lopez, that it needs to be 6 feet from the property line. I was exactly 7 feet from my property line, with the privacy fence between the property line and the shed. Then he called me back again, he's like, nope, I'm mistaken, it's 5 feet. 2 days later, he said, nope, I'm mistaken again, it's 3 feet. I said, not a problem, I'm gonna email you the paperwork you sent me. I've tried to email him 3 times. For some strange reason, he was not receiving the emails. So I said, okay, Mom, I'm going down to City Hall, and I'm gonna turn in this paperwork once and for all with pictures. Showed him the pictures, resubmitted everything. The same day that that letter was sent out saying we had to be to court was the same day I submitted that paperwork on January 18th, which I have a copy of it from here, of them receiving it on January 18th, because I asked for a copy of it on the date it was received. Also, when I submitted my application, I also put on where the survey's at, exactly how many feet it was with a line drawn stating where that shed is at. All we're just waiting for right now was for someone just to come out, inspect where all the with the packet, what needed for us to build this shed with compliance was someone just to come out, inspect it, if it needed to be moved a foot or so, and that was it. Other than that, that's what all been told. But me and my mother have been trying to get in contact with code enforcement to find out exactly what is this paperwork that everyone needs.
Yeah, well, code enforcement can't answer that question for you because code enforcement, that you're at the right place when you're at the building department. And correct me if I'm wrong, but code enforcement can't answer those questions for you. Code enforcement prosecutes the case, and this case is for building without a permit. And the issue, the predicament I'm in, is that you are in violation. You have built something and you did not have a permit before you started, as the Florida Building Code requires. And you're trying to cure that. I hear that. And the request today, and we'll talk about the timing request that the city has asked for, because I'm inclined, based on your testimony, to give more time. But I'm curious, so where are you in the process with the building department? You came and you hand-delivered paperwork. Have you received a response to that?
I haven't
Is it
received anything. The last thing we
sufficient?
turned into was zoning.
And it was turned in on what date?
January, first it was emailed 3 days after he sent it to me in December, right before Christmas. He never received it. Called again, left a message, have you received my email? No response.
The 1st of December is when.
The 1st of December,
The 1st of December,
and the 1st of December again,
January 18th.
and then I submit, he got in Miss Neal got in contact with me mid-December. I contacted the person who I need to contact at zoning. Then I had to come to this building to find out why is he not receiving my emails? Why am I not receiving anything? He said, we still haven't gotten anything from you, Mr. Marte. So I'm like, okay, this is going long enough. Now we're receiving things in front of the house. I'm like, all right, we got to go get this fixed because they're not receiving my emails. So the communication disconnect between me and zoning was a problem. So I literally came over here and submitted the paperwork, which I have right here, which they stamped received on January 18th.
May I say something, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Every time we will be receiving our monthly sticker thing on front of the house, within 24 hours, he would come in physically and find out what was going on. Now, the second time that a young lady came over to us, she goes, the permit was not, was approved. We didn't receive any information, and I understand she does a particular job. This letter that we've been receiving here has statutes, codes. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with any of this. If they would have written it to us in layman's terms, we would have understood the reason why the permits were not approved. And there were several times that he would walk in, give them the paperwork that they requested again and again and again. And then we started with, can we have a copy? In order for us to show you that we have been trying to comply with everyone's needs here, and we're still with zero.
I don't doubt that you've been trying to comply. I think the code enforcement officer's testimony shows, just showing that you've submitted those applications.
Correct.
But I am going to take a little bit of issue with these being highly technical language. I don't disagree that there is some highly technical language in notices of violation. There's a reason for that. They have statutes they have to comply with. But this language, it's clear to me. No construction of any type shall be commenced prior to site plan approval or the issuance of a building permit. Do you not understand that?
We do understand that. I'm not going to disagree with that, but due to the weather being bad, we just basically found a house at the last minute, and we're just trying to get all our stuff in. Unfortunately, I have a lot of my Army memorabilia. I'm retired military, so you want to keep a lot of my copies of my stuff. We had to get something done. We couldn't put it inside the house whatsoever because the house is as small as it is, and we were paying close to almost $700 in storage fees that we were literally going negative. And unfortunately, us trying to figure out what we can do and how can I get this done, I had to, unfortunately, go to total line with this one. I said, I have to get this done. Otherwise, we're going to lose the material that we have outside, plus we're going to lose our stuff. I also have a 24-foot enclosed trailer that I'm renting from a friend of mine that nothing's inside the shed right now because of we're waiting for the inspection so you can see all the connections, all the joists, everything, the tie downs, everything that was according to the permit plans.
So you keep talking about inspections, and I think it clicked for me, because typically you don't have inspections until after a permit is issued. You have a permit for the primary residence that you're building. Do I understand correctly? So you receive a permit for that. The issue is
We haven't even received that. We
Yeah,
can't even get
no.
past that one hurdle.
We keep getting told the permit was not approved, the
And no-
permit was not
And
approved.
no one's only and everyone keeps telling us it's the feet between the property line and the permit. And I keep telling them it's on the paperwork. Here are the pictures. It's
Well,
on the paperwork.
It sounds from, and again, I don't represent the city of St. Cloud, so I don't know how their building department operates, but it may or may not be the feet between the building and the property line. It may mean that they may be telling you that they need a survey that shows that property
They
line.
have it.
They have it.
A survey, or you drew a line?
No,
No,
they have
sir.
the survey.
The
It's a part
original
of the survey.
Does that survey show where the building is?
Yes, the survey shows where the building's at, where I drew the line on the survey, on the permit application.
You drew the line, or the surveyor drew the line?
The surveyor drew the line, on the survey, it shows exactly where the property line between both my property and where I'm at. The person at zoning told me just write the line exactly where the building is
It's
at.
located.
And that's exactly what I did.
And we submitted that.
And I told him, do you want me to send you pictures? He's like, no, pictures are not necessary. Now all we gotta do is just get it, send someone out there to take a look at it, and we're good to go. We can't even get past that hurdle.
Well, and that's the testament that you keep giving that's giving me problems, is until there's a permit issued, there are not inspections. So there would not be an inspection
So we
until
stopped
after that
whatever it is
permit
that
is
we were
issued.
doing. And so where are we? We still.
Well, that's why I'm asking the questions that I'm asking. I cannot resolve the issue with building department. I don't have that power or authority. All I can do is determine whether or not there's a violation.
And that's where we're at right now.
And
There
that's our
is a
concern.
violation. Do you disagree that there is a violation? There was a structure built without a building permit.
At this point, yes, because we can't even get the permit for someone to give us a straight answer.
But you agree that the construction commenced before you had a building permit in hand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Due to
And-
financial issues, we forwarded with the building.
And that's the predicament I'm in,
Okay.
because I find your testimony compelling. I understand the situation. I've seen in all areas that I do this, it happens. It is your responsibility to take care of it, and it sounds like you are. And so my next question is to that end. How much more time do you think you need to, now that you are coming to City Hall and sitting down, how much more time? Because the city's asked for March 1. I think they need a little bit more time than that to get that permit in hand. How much time do you think you need?
We can resubmit, and then as fast as they want to come out there, we're ready for them.
Until the permit is issued, I don't think anybody is coming out there.
Okay,
And
yeah.
so I think it's imperative upon you to come here, if it takes scheduling a meeting and saying, let's sit down and until this gets done.
Exactly.
And you can send me out the door saying, okay, with the building department saying, I think I have everything we need from you, and then you can go out the door. And they've asked for March 1. I'm inclined to give until April 1.
That sounds comfortable.
That's fine.
That sounds
We're
comfortable.
ready.
Any objections to city to April 1 as compliance date? The significance of the compliance date is the city has also asked for a fine in the amount of $100 a day. That does not begin to accrue until after that April 1 deadline passes.
Understandable.
And so with this, I would tell you, if you're getting close to April 1 and there are issues that are preventing you that you feel are outside of your control that involve the city, any other issues that aren't city related, then notify the code enforcement officer what the delay is, so that at least they're aware and will continue to work with you before they have to bring it back.
Yeah.
Because those fines start to run on April 2nd. And I am going to impose that. I'm going to find the property is in violation and find the compliance date is April 1, 2022, and will impose a fine of $100 a day if that compliance date that I'm setting is not complied with.
From what I understand what you're saying, from what I also was explained to me is that zoning and code enforcement are both on the same system. So that's where I'm trying to figure out. They say they're both on the same system, they both can mirror, they can see what's going on with one another, but no one's not seeing when our dates or when our paperwork is being sent in, or if it's being put inside the system whatsoever. So that's another issue that we
That's
have.
our big
But what
concern.
code enforcement is looking for is not what you're submitting. They're looking for a permit, because the Florida Building Code requires you to have a permit in hand.
Yes,
So
but if
until
the
that permit is in hand, the violation is outstanding. So
Got it.
she can't close her file until the permit is in hand.
And that's the reason why I asked for copies of everything when I turn something in for the, because in the military, it's the same way. I want
And-
copies of everything.
Excuse me, and who is the one that's supposed to supply us with the permit? Coding or?
No, code
zoning?
enforcement does not issue
Coding doesn't do
permits.
that. That's
They have
ridiculous.
nothing to do with issuing permits.
Is
That's
it-
what
is it
I'm trying to
zoning?
express to you. It is the building department you have
Building
to
department.
communicate with to get that permit.
So the building department is the issue that we're having with right now, it's not them. Gotcha. No,
All she can do is enforce the code.
that's it.
Correct.
No, we're good. We're good on that one. We're good on that one.
So the city has also asked for payment of administrative costs incurred in prosecuting the case in the amount of $264.82. When there is a violation, I will impose those costs or assess those costs. The city has asked for 7 days. That is the typical amount of time I give. Is there a hardship that would cause you to ask for more time to pay that amount?
7 days would be fine.
7 days is fine, okay.
Can I return the signs? They're still sitting in front of my door. I can return them off. If you can take the $20 off, I can return the signs.
I don't think I can discount it, but would you like your signs back?
Yeah, you just leave them there. I'll come by tomorrow and pick them up.
That's fine.
Anything else you need from me?
No, that was it.
That's it.
Thank you for coming in.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, sir, when will we be receiving all of this paperwork?
The order will come in the next few days. It will probably be next week when you receive it.
Okay. And
It's a matter of
so,
when I can sit down at my desk and get it written, and then it will be the mail time.
okay, and then so, also, is there a particular person or a group of people that we need to discuss this with the building?
The building department is all I can tell you. My role here is to hear these hearings. I don't work for the city, so I don't know the personalities and tell you to talk to.
Do we also get,
Code enforcement may be able to point you in the right direction, but I don't know
do we
that
also get
either.
charged for those certified letters that we never received? That's also part of this.
Here's the issue with the certified mail. They're required by law to send it to your tax address. And if if you bought a new property, that address probably had not updated yet, but they sent it to where they're required by statute to send it.
I sent it to both.
Okay.
But they're required to send it to that old address.
Okay.
Until the tax rolls show it differently.
Thank you much.
Thank you so much.
Go up to number 1, if they're ready.
Case number 2021-1822, Eddie Xavier Morales Rodriguez, owner, location of violation, 1807 Western Ham Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go to, they're not ready yet,
Oh, okay.
so go to the last one on the page.
Mr. Magistrate, if we could, there is a respondent here in case 2022-136, Doris Rizzo.
It's the next one on the agenda anyway.
Yes, sir.
Case number 2022-136, Doris Risso, owner, repeat violation, location of violation, 1019 Georgia Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon. Alex Miller, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of St. Cloud. I'm presenting this case for the property located at 1019 Georgia Avenue. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail, posted at the property in City Hall, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of posting, evidence of mailing, copy of the code section in violation, a copy of the deed to the property, and a copy of the cost incurred at the magistrate found the respondent in violation in the amount of $189.33. The respondent is here, and I have provided the respondent with the copies. On January 25th, 2022, I received a complaint about a porch that was installed at this location prior to obtaining a permit. I verified that a permit was not obtained prior to installation. On November 2019, the property owner was found guilty of not obtaining a permit prior to enclose the existing carport, making this a repeat violation, and 4 photos were taken.
What am I looking at in the photos?
This is the porch that was installed right now.
Okay.
Um,
Is it just the overhang, or is it,
It's the roof and the porch.
so the decking and the roof are all new?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the uprights, I'm guessing?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
On January 26, 2022, a statement of violation and notice of hearing was sent by certified mail to the owner, posted the property in City Hall, an affidavit of posting was created, and 1 photo was taken. On February 11, I verified that a permit has not been obtained and the property is still in violation. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in a repeat violation of constructing a front porch prior to obtaining a permit at this location pay a fine in the amount of $500 a day commencing from January 25th, 2022, the day the violation was found. The city will also request that the cost incurred in bringing this case before the magistrate in the amount of $189.33 to be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate, and this concludes my presentation.
Have there been any permits applied for?
No, sir.
Respondent?
How are you? I'm Susanna Rizzo.
And let me swear you
Haney.
in. Do you swear from the testimony you give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Susanna Rizzo Haney is my name. My mother's the owner of the house. I'm sorry. I've had a worst month of my life, but I'm going to get through it. So, I did come to the building department. This roof has been on since 2021. I came to the building department twice, talked to Lucy, talked to Bob. Lucy and Bob were the ones that did my final inspection on the carport. Asked them, these eaves have to be fixed. All of this right here is rotten. Yes, come down. Came down here. This is February of 2021. They said, I explained to them everything that needed to be done. All the eaves, all the wood, fascia in the front, everything underneath. You don't need a permit for that. I went back home. I explained everything they told me to my son, because he builds. Subcontractor. Mom, go back over there. We had problems with that other. I came back over here. I spoke to Lucy in the building department to get a permit. No, my son said, make sure to tell you what we're doing. No, you do not need a permit for that. Okay. A few months later, maybe beginning of March, middle of March, and I know more or less it's that date because I got married in May, and by beginning of April, I had all my flowers for the wedding in pots in front of that. So he started tearing things out. Everything was rotten. Rats were going in through those eaves and squirrels. So we started pulling all that out. And basically what he has done is the porch itself, all those pieces of wood, that's what he fixed. He just fixed everything that was rotten. That's basically what he's done.
Was there any extension to the porch area?
The eaves were further out. The porch itself was further out. The only thing we moved were the columns because they were rotten, but the same amount extended. Okay, here's the porch. Let me say the porch is from here to here, okay? There was 3 columns, staggered, I don't know how many feet away from each other. But in front of this piece, there was an overhang of roof. So all we did is we moved the columns from here to here, but it's the same amount of space. We moved the columns. And the columns are new because they're 4 by 4, they're big. And everything was rotten. Everything was falling apart. My dad owned this house since 2000, I believe it is. When he passed away, I've inquired the whole mess. Because my mother has Alzheimer's. She doesn't know what's going on half the time. She's 91. Think I'm going to tell her this? I don't bring her out. She's susceptible. She had COVID in December. I almost lost her. And everything I have to do, I got married in May. I've abandoned my husband for my mother because he can't deal with me attending to take care of her and leave him aside. But you have to understand, that's my mother. And before we got married, what was the first thing that we talked about? If anything was to happen, because she was living in Orlando with my sister, if anything was to happen, I'm the youngest. I had surgery. I was at death 7 months I had to live. Back in 2019, I had surgery. January of 2020 to be able to live, to survive, to be able to take care of her. Because my sister's 11 years older than I am. I knew her health was no good. So, she said, you're getting married, you're making new plans for your life. I was leaving to Tennessee. I got married. He can't deal with it. He lives in Orlando. I live here with my mother. My sister got sick in September. Bam. I have to take her. I can't put her in a home. You just don't do that. So, Mom's with me. I'm there at the house. My son's 5 kids. I'm responsible for everything. It's a lot on me, but I'm just asking God one day at a time. But I did come. I did make the attempts.
Who did you speak to at the city?
Well, I never called Miss Miller because I didn't see her number on there till yesterday.
Who did you speak to in the building department is really
Yes.
what I'm asking.
Yes. Hold on. I write everything down because I can't remember, I've got too many things going. Okay. February 3rd and 4th, I left the message on the phone number for the building department. They said, you leave a message, we will contact you back. I did not get a return call in reference to the violation. On 2/8, I called. Now, in between all this, I'm trying to
What I'm really asking is who at the city told you you did not need a permit?
Oh, I spoke with Lucy. It was
have the last
Lucy.
name?
This is back February of 2020. Because I already had dealt with her. Her and Bob were the ones that did my, what is that? The final inspection on the side, porch that we built a roof.
So I think as you were going through your testimony, you described 2 instances where somebody came to City Hall and spoke to city staff about the work that was being done, and you were
Yes.
told that there was not a permit to
Needed.
be needed. And so
Correct.
Lucy was in February of 2020. Was there a second conversation where you were told that you were not required to get a
I
permit?
came back again. She was the girl. She always comes and helps me. She already knows me.
Do you know her last name? Okay, you know her last name. It's okay.
I spoke with her as well.
Okay, so then, let's see, on 2/8, after I've got this paperwork in my, I know she placed it on the 25th or 26th, but I had things going on with my mother, that I'm trying to get her wheelchair, I'm trying to get her insured for her physical, I'm doing all this other stuff, and they keep me on the phone for hours. People think, well, what do you do all day? I'm up since 6 o'clock in the morning, and I don't rest until 2 in the morning. That's how much things I have to do. So that's why I didn't get in touch with, I tried, but I didn't do it on the 25th or the 26th. So I called on the 8th, left the message on Bob's voicemail, which he's the chief of director of inspector. Didn't get a call back the next day. I told my son, I'm going to have to go in person because nobody's responding to my calls. So on 2/10, I spoke with Amy down at the building. I explained the issues, that I did go to the office, that I, tried to get the permit, was told I didn't need one because it was just the eaves of the roofs. But when we started the repairs, the whole thing was falling apart and rotten. Okay. And we just completed the fixing. It's been since a year since this project has started, and now I get the violation. Everything's done. The only thing that we haven't put shingles because my son wants to put a metal roof on there. But you can't do everything at one time. I don't have money like that. And I don't spend my mother's money that we have in a trust account, because if anything was to happen and I have to put her in some kind of home or something, you have to have money. So I can't dwindle her fund like that. Then, hold on, let's see. It's been a year. Amy was pulling my address and sending an email to Bob and to the ladies at Code Enforcement. I explained to her that on that paperwork, that they posted in the house, that there was a court date. So after that, on 2/10, Lucy called me back. I I think Amy was at lunch. She said, but I'll take care of it. I'll talk to Lucy when I get back. She did. Lucy called me back on 2/10. I explained to her what had happened. I told her there's a court date, February 16th. She said she didn't understand why a court date. I said, I'm just telling you what I'm reading on this paper. She said Bob would get back on Tuesday, which was the 15th, that she will be going ahead and contacting the code enforcement office again, the code enforcement magistrate, because that I shouldn't be penalized, because I did come here and I did all that, but, okay. Doing this or having a permit. She will call me back again within reference of what to do next. So 2/11, Lucy called me back this morning, I put, and due to the permit, because the porch had to be redone and repaired, Lucy will talk to Bob first thing Tuesday morning, because that's when he returns back to the office. So I have to be there. She told me, be here Tuesday morning, first thing. So 8:15 in the morning, after I dropped my grandkids off, I was there with my son, and I brought my mother. Because she had told me, if you have to sign, fill out a permit paperwork, your mother has to sign it. Okay. Went to the office. Bob was out sick, but Lucy did fill out the paperwork and did notarize everything for a permit. 2/16, which was today, this morning, I called Lucy, and her and Bob went by the house, looked at the structure, and per Bob, he said that I'm going to need a blueprint engineer. So we have a friend that does blueprints. You know, he's out of Kissimmee or something. I told my son, we're going to need this. He goes, well, no matter whatever we need to do, we just got to do it. I didn't do this intentionally. This wasn't on purpose. Okay, I understand I did something wrong the first time, but this time, I did not.
Let me, if you have, do you have anything else you'd like me to hear before? I'm going to ask you to take a break, because I think we have Lucy in the room. Am I guessing right? Okay.
Yes, sir. And I'd like to add also something.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a picture here when the property was taken to the magistrate before, when she did not have a porch. And Lucy's here to explain that a permit is needed for the structure that she built.
Okay. If you'll come to the podium. I'm sorry, is it Noel? Miss Noel? No, is that Lucy, your last name?
Yes, Lugo.
Lugo?
Yes, Lugo.
If you'll raise your right hand, let me swear you in. Do you swear from the testimony you give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And before, you're welcome to tell me anything you'd like me to hear, but the respondent has testified that I believe in February of 2020, she testified to having conversations with you where she described repair work to the soffits, and that she was advised by you that no permit would be required for repair work. Do you recall that conversation?
Yes.
And was she told at that time that no permit would be required for the work as she was describing it at the time?
Correct.
Were there any other conversations you remember with her as to whether or not a permit was required?
I don't believe so.
Is there anything else you would like me to hear?
No, that'll be all.
Ms. Rizzo, do you have any questions for Ms. Lugo?
No, she's always been there to help me. You know, truly, she's always helped. You know, anytime I needed anything, she's been there. So I always.
I'm sorry, Ms. Rizzo, if you would come up to the podium so they can capture you on the microphone, and I do have a couple more follow-up questions, just so I can get a sense of where we are on
I
this.
just want to say, you know, Lucy's always been there. She's always been great. She's always done all my paperwork. I've never had any complaints. I don't think it was really anything at fault. You know, I explained exactly what I needed to do or what was rotting in the house, and she just went by what I told her.
And I understand that, and the code enforcement officer did provide me with the pictures from the earlier code enforcement case, and I think how you just described it is exactly what happened. You came in and you spoke to Ms. Lugo about a repair, and somewhere between the opening of it and the finishing of the work, it
Yes.
became more than a repair. What it is now, I'm not a building official, but I worked with them for a long time,
I
and this
understand.
requires a permit.
I
And
understand.
it sounds like, if I understood you correctly, that you've started that process of getting the permit. Did I hear correctly? She has? Is there anything that she needs to do more for that permit to be, for that permit application to be processed?
Yes, Bob, the building official drove by the property today, and we do need architectural drawings. So we're pending architectural drawings to move forward with the permit application.
And Ms. Rizzo, I believe you testified to that also, so I think you understand what you're being told, and it sounds like
Yes.
you have somebody who can help
That
you
is-
with
that is correct.
Does anybody have anything else they'd like me to hear on this case?
And the reason why I just found a violation is because I'm new, we change zones every year, so I was assigned to this zone, so that's why it was noted.
Okay. I don't find any issues with how the case was handled, but this is the compelling evidence or testimony that was given today. This is being presented as a repeat violation, and the reason why repeat violations are subject to backdated fines and increased penalties is the first time I ordered something, you should have learned the lesson. Ms. Rizzo, it sounds like, and everybody here is testifying, she came in and she asked the questions. I think I understand what happened. She asked a question, she was given the right answer for the question that was asked. And then life happened and it got bigger and there wasn't that moment stopped. So I do not think this is a good case for the backdating of fines or increased penalties. So what I'm going to do is, for that reason, I am not going to treat this as a repeat violation.
Thank you.
And I'm going to do you think 45 days is enough time to get those engineered drawings to the city?
Yes.
And hopefully the permit will issue quickly once that's in, there aren't any more hangups. I'm gonna give her 45 days to cure the violation. If not cured within that time, I will impose a $100 a day fine from that point forward, 45 days out forward. And is there any hardship in paying the $189.53, 33 cents sought by the city administrative cost within 7 days?
As long as it's after next Monday, because I don't have any accessibility until then to my mother's.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna match that to the 45 days, make everybody's life easier, so you'll have 45 days on that also.
Thank you.
Anything else from anybody on this case?
No, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you, Ms. Lugo, for coming in.
Thank you.
Case number 2022-176, Diamond Homes LLC, owner repeat violation, location of violation 1106 Oregon Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Which case did you call? Diamond Homes?
Again, Officer Miller, I'm presenting this case for the property located at 1106 Oregon Avenue. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail, posted at the property in City Hall, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of posting, evidence of mailing, copy of the code section in violation, a copy of the deed to the property, and a copy to the cost incurred if the magistrate finds a respondent in violation in the amount of $185.33. And the respondent is not here. On January 31st, 2022, during routine patrol, I observed that this property had new windows and siding. I verified that a permit for residential repairs and alterations was obtained, but it was now in expired status as October 17, 2021. On September 20, 2020, the property owner was found guilty of allowing 2 permits to expire, making this a repeat violation. On January 31st, 2022, a statement of violation and notice of hearing was sent to the owner by certified mail, posted the property in City Hall, an affidavit of posting was created, and 1 photo was taken. On January 31st, after posting the property, I received a call from the owner inquiring about the posting. After explaining the violation, he stated that he will be contacting the building department. On February 11, 2022, I verified that a new application was submitted on February 9 to replace the expired permit, but no permit has been obtained and the property is still in violation. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of allowing a permit to expire with work already started at this location, pay a fine in the amount of $500 a day commencing from January 31st, 2022, the day of the violation was found, and the city will also request that the cost incurred in bringing this case before the magistrate in the amount of $185.33 to be paid within 7 days of the in order. And this concludes my presentation.
So to your knowledge, no permit has been applied for?
It has been applied on December 9th, sir. I'm sorry, February 9th.
Okay, so it was applied for on February 9th.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And do we know the status of that permit application?
Still pending more information from the owner.
Do you know what information it's needed, what additional information is needed?
No, sir, I don't recall.
Do you know when that was communicated to the owner?
What information is needed? No, I don't, sir.
City's requested $500 a day dating back to January 31, 2020, or excuse me, 2022. That can get pretty steep pretty quickly.
Yes, sir.
Does the city have any position on whether it's an abatement or anything else on this case to try to encourage compliance rather than just the hammer?
Well, I think clearly the city's looking for compliance. Maybe some type of a hybrid would meet with the city's position. The repeat identified at the end of January, the application made on the 9th, that's essentially 10 days. And then maybe a date going forward to reinitiate a fine, along with the cost recovery, would be a sufficient incentive to get
I find
this.
that appropriate, and you picked up on where my hesitation was a permit. They did start the process of trying to fix it, so I'm a little bit disinclined to keep that $500 fine running while they to see. And I do like the approach of
If the magistrate thinks a flat fine of some amount.
Well, I
for
was,
those 10 days,
I was
it
going
doesn't
to reduce the request to $250 a day for 8 days, February 1 through the 8th, because they did come in for a permit application on the 9th. So 250 times 8 is 2,000?
That's my math, yes, sir. Along with the cost.
So a repeat violation fine of $2,000 for those days. I will abate the running of that fine through March 16th, or the first business day thereafter. I'm not sure what day would you.
That's a Wednesday, the 16th is.
Then
that's-
March
we're-
16th
Yeah, we meet that day here.
to have permit in hand. If they do not have a permit in hand, and by March 16th, $500 per day from that point
Yes, sir.
forward.
Along with the cost, that'd be.
And I will award the city the administrative cost in the amount of $185.33 to be paid within 7 days of the date of my order.
Thank you.
Give me a second to write down before you call the next one.
Not ready. Can we do the unfinished business?
I don't know. Can we do the unfinished business first? Okay.
Okay, since she's waiting.
Okay.
Unfinished business, case number 2021-640, Benjamin Estates HOA Inc., owner, location of violation, Benjamin Estates, tracks B and C, conservation and buffer, St. Cloud, Florida.
No, when I walked into the room, everybody was smiling and talking friendly. Has this been resolved
Yes.
to everyone's satisfaction?
Yes.
Is there anything that the city or the respondent needs from me?
I don't believe so. I mean, did.
I believe what
everything was-
prompted this hearing was an order imposing fines.
Correct.
And this was their appeal of that order.
Correct.
Where do we stand on those fines that were imposed?
I believe you halted
I
everything.
did. I abated everything
You
until it
abated
was
everything.
resolved. Is the
Okay.
city seeking any payment of fines?
No, I don't think so.
So I will.
Possibly I don't know if.
The cost has been
The
paid.
cost has been paid?
So
Then
there,
no.
the only issue left is fines, and the city is not seeking fines?
No, sir.
Then I will enter an order to that effect, that there are no fines, that the parties
Perfect.
have resolved the issue, and no fines will be imposed.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, quick question on the first case. My PowerPoint presentation is not going to be on the monitor, but it is in the book. Is that going to present a problem to
It
you?
presents no problem for me.
Okay, then I'll let her read the case.
Case number 2021-1822, Eddie Xavier Morales Rodriguez, owner, location of violation 1807 Westernham Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon, Melissa Howes, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of St. Cloud. I am presenting this case for the property located at 1807 Westernham Avenue. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence a copy of the courtesy notice of violation sent by regular mail, a copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail, a copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail, a copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail posted on the property in City Hall, copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail posted on the property in City Hall, the copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, the code sections in violation of, a copy of the deed to the property, and a copy of the cost incurred if magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $212.16, and the respondent is not here. On August 9th, 2021, during routine patrol, I checked all the fence permits in the entire subdivision at this location. I observed a fence already constructed at this property and no permit on file. On August the 10th, I issued a courtesy notice of violation to the owner of record to obtain a permit within 10 working days. On August 30th, I checked the permit records. No permit had been submitted, so I sent a notice of violation by regular mail to the owner. On September 17th, I checked and no permit had been submitted. I then issued a notice of violation by certified mail. On October the 5th, no permit on record. I posted the property in City Hall with a notice of violation. I did an affidavit of posting and took 3 photographs. On October the 8th, I received a call from the realtor who sold the owner of the property, and then she advised me that the owner was in the military, out of the country, so she was trying to help the owner obtain the permit. I explained to her where to obtain the permit and to keep me posted. On October 25th, I contacted the realtor for an update. She stated she just received the notarized documents back from the owner and would be able to submit the permit within the next week. I continued the case for 2 weeks. On November 15th, I checked the permit records, and a permit was submitted on November the 5th and was in the approval process. I extended the case until after the holiday. On December 13th, I checked the permit status, and the permit was missing documents in order to move forward with the permit. I emailed the realtor and advised her to submit the documents to the planning department, or I would need to move forward with the case. I extended this case until after the first of the year. On January 5th, I checked the permit, and the planning department is still in need of documents to process the permit. I emailed the realtor stating I'd given ample time to complete the process and had already posted the property, so my next step was to schedule to the special magistrate. I waited again another 20 days. On January 26th, I checked, and the permit was still waiting on the recorded easement agreement. I created a statement of violation and noticed the hearing. I sent it by certified mail, posted the property in City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and took 3 photos. On February 14th, I received a call from the realtor stating that she had now obtained the permit. I verified that the permit was issued and the property was in compliance.
What was the compliance date?
The permit was on February 14th. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of constructing a fence prior to obtaining a permit at this location and not correcting the violation by the time specified. The city would also request the costs incurred in bringing the case before the magistrate in the amount of $212.16 to be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate. And I did advise the Realtor, because she told me she would not be here today, and she said that that would not be an issue. I am to call her tomorrow with the findings and give her Claudia's information.
Okay. Based on the evidence testimony presented, I will find in favor of the city, find that the respondent was in violation for constructing a fence prior to obtaining a building permit, find that the violation has been cured but was cured after the time set in the notice of violation for cure, and will order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $212.16, which amount shall be due within 7 days of the date of my written order.
Thank you, sir.
New business? None. Next scheduled meeting, March 16, 2022.
Anything else from the city? Anything else from the clerk? Then we are adjourned. Did you need me to sign minutes today?
You know, I don't remember if you signed the December.